I tried to put these gears together in kind of something that maybe you understand or have some experience with, and that's maybe riding a bicycle and shifting gears. And you've probably experienced this, and you just kind of try to shift around till it's something that's comfortable. But let's think about this a little bit. If you're trying to go up a hill, you know that's difficult to do, and so you want to put your gear system on what we call a low gear, which means you want to be able, you need a lot of torque to get up the hill, but you can't actually put that torque in yourself. So you want to put in a low amount of torque, and you want the gear to multiply your torque to make you go up the hill. So what you would be doing is, on your gear system, you would be pedaling, you would be turning. When you're pedaling, you'd be trying to turn a smaller gear, and then back on the back wheel you'd have a bigger gear, and you'd have your chain around something like this. This would be something like what we're doing here, because and this is your drive right here, and this is your driven. And so what happens if your drive is smaller than your driven? That means we're going to multiply our torque. So we're going to get a lot more torque out of this. But what does that mean? But what about the angular velocity? Well, the angular velocity of this one is going to be a lot less than what this one is. So what does that mean? Well, when you're trying to go up a hill, what do? You got to actually you pedal around a lot, right? And you don't go very far. You're pedaling around a lot, you don't go very far, because this thing has to spin around a whole bunch of times. Sorry. This one has to go around a whole bunch of times for this one to go around maybe once. So you don't get a lot of distance out of it, but you can pedal this, around a lot of times, put a lot of distance into it, and not have to put in much torque to actually get a lot of torque out of it and be able to ride your bike straight up a hill. Well, what happens when you are on the flat or you are coming down the hill? Well, then what you want to do is you want to be pedaling. You want to change your sprocket in the front to be bigger than the one that's in the back. So you have something like this. Why would you want to do that? Well, now what I want to do is I want to be able to, I can afford, so I'm not going uphill, I can afford to put in a lot of torque into this big thing, right? And I don't need a lot of torque out of it. So I can put a lot of torque in there, and I could turn this, pretty slow. It goes around one time or twice, but in the meantime, your back wheel then will be going around a lot. So in this case, in this first case here, when I was trying to go up the hill, I wanted to be in what we called a low gear, so that I'm multiplying my torque. I want to multiply my torque. But now when I am on the straightaway, I want to be in what we call high gear and really be multiplying my velocity. I want to go really fast, so I can just, and you've all experienced this, I could pedal, my pedal's real kind of slow, but that means this thing is going really, really fast, and my back wheel here is going really, really fast, and I can move a lot of distance quickly. So a low gear is when you're pedaling into the small gear, okay, and maximizing or multiplying our torque. But high gear is when you are pedaling into the big gear and multiplying our speed. We want to go really fast, and so I can afford to go ahead and put a lot of torque into this, into my pedals. Hopefully that makes a little sense. If you go on your bike, you've experienced this, and maybe you can kind of straighten that out in your mind.